Magic the Gathering is a game that features a vast and continuous multiverse of stories set across countless planes and that incorporates numerous themes. One of those themes is horror. With the beginning of October, so begins our countdown to Halloween. 30 days, 30 decks, 30 different creatures of the night, all culminating with a special 31st episode on Halloween Day itself. For those of you with a profound fascination of the macabre, I invite you to join me on this venture through 30 days of night. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm MTG Budget Brew, and welcome to day 17 of our 30 days of night. Today we're going to be playing goblins. Goblins are small, grotesque, humanoid creatures that have become a staple of the fantasy genre. They are a classic creature tribe in Magic, and we're playing them today in a way that I doubt you've seen before, and that you're even less likely to have tried for yourself. We're running Artifact Sacrifice Goblins. The cards that we built today's deck around are Gleeful Demolition and Kuldotha Rebirth. Gleeful Demolition is 1 red for a sorcery that says, destroy target artifact. If you controlled that artifact, create 3 1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens. And Kuldotha Rebirth is 1 red for a sorcery that says, as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice an artifact, create 3 1/1 red Goblin creature tokens. So for this deck, we want to get out cheap artifacts that we can then sacrifice or destroy in exchange to get 3 1/1 Goblin creature tokens. The artifact cards that we're running to help us achieve that are Implement of Combustion, Clockwork Percussionist, Voldaren Epicure, which makes a blood token, and Ichor Wellspring. After we've developed our board of Goblin creature tokens, the next part of our plan becomes to pump them up a bunch and then swing out. And the cards we're running to help us do that are Battle Cry Goblin, as well as Imodane's Recruiter. Next, we're running a full playset of Play with Fire, as well as Light Up the Stage. For our mana base, we're only running 20 lands. It is 14 mountains, then 4 copies of Great Furnace, which is an artifact land, so we can sacrifice or destroy this in a pinch, as well as Ramunap Ruins and 1 Darksteel Citadel, which is an indestructible artifact land. And targeting this with Gleeful Demolition will still give us our tokens without actually destroying the land. This deck is designed to be pretty aggressive, but something that's really surprising about the deck is just how much access to resources we really have. Implement of Combustion, when it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you draw a card from it. Clockwork Percussionist, when it dies, you exile the top card of your library. You may play until your next turn. Ichor Wellspring, when it enters and when it leaves the battlefield, you get to draw a card. Voldaren Epicure, again, it makes blood tokens. We can use those to discard lands to draw into non-land cards. And of course, we're also running Light Up the Stage, which says exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. And I'm running Light Up the Stage because it has good synergy with Implement of Combustion, which says for a red, you can sacrifice this artifact. It deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker, which will then turn on the spectacle cost for Light Up the Stage, which says you may cast a spell for its spectacle cost rather than its mana cost if an opponent lost life this turn. So we can cast a spell for 1 mana instead of 3. And it synergizes with Voldaren Epicure because when this enters, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. This deck's draw/card advantage is actually kind of nuts. Very rarely with this deck will you run out of resources. I think this deck is one of the most interesting things that you can do with goblins, and I'm very excited to show this deck to you guys. And I also want it to be noted that this deck has 0 rares. 0 rares, 0 mythics. There is a budget format for Arena called Artisan, and this is an Artisan legal deck. So not only is this deck fun, it's super budget, and it performs very, very well. How well does it perform, you might ask? Here we are on my untapped account. If I have it set to current and previous set, you can see that I am currently 33 and 13 with this deck. The last time I played the deck was 28 days ago. I designed this deck quite a while ago, and I have had a lot of fun using it. And like I said, it performs very well. 46 matches with a 72% win rate. That's pretty dang good. It has a much larger sample size than most of the other decks that we've been doing for our 30 days of night. And trust me, I wouldn't be playing almost 50 games with the deck if I was not enjoying it. So I think it's about time we hop into some matches, and I can show you what this deck can really do. All right, guys, here we are in game number 1. Did it say we're going first? I wasn't paying attention. Doesn't matter. We have Kuldotha Rebirth in our hand. Nice. We are going first. And finding one of these in our opening hand is, I don't want to say critical for the deck, but definitely helps out a ton. So we're going to start by playing a turn 2 Ichor Wellspring. When this enters, we get to draw a card, and we draw into a Clockwork Percussionist. Nice. Our opponent has played Waste, which you should not run. If you're running a colorless deck, you don't need to run waste. There's so many utility lands that tap for colorless and have additional effects. There's zero reason to ever run basic waste into in any of your decks. But they played a Buried Ruin, Waste, and Guardian Idol, so they are playing an Eldrazi deck for sure. We draw into a Gleeful Demolition. That's really nice. I'm going to play a Great Furnace for turn. This is going to change up our play a little bit. I'm going to Kuldotha Rebirth, sacrifice our Ichor Wellspring. We'll get to draw a card and make 3 tokens here. I am then going to play Clockwork Percussionist, go to combat, swing for 1, set our opponent to 19, and then I'm going to Gleeful Demolition our Clockwork Percussionist, and then when this dies, we'll get to exile the top card of our library, which is another Gleeful Demolition, which we can use on this Clockwork Percussionist that's in our hand. And now we have 6 1/1s on the board. Pretty good. Next turn, we could deal a lot of damage already, actually. I can play out Battle Cry Goblin, activate its ability to give all of these +1/+0 and haste to include itself. That's 3 plus 12, 15, 16 total damage that we could do. We could set our opponent down to 5 already. 5 is pretty good. I'm gonna play out the Battle Cry Goblin. I want to use its ability, but then we'll lose this Gleeful Demolition, so I am not going to. I'll play out the Clockwork Percussionist instead. We'll swing in for 7, set our opponent to 14. And now I will Gleeful Demolition this Clockwork Percussionist. And again, we get to exile the top card of our library. It is a Great Furnace. So I don't know if they have enough mana to cast like an Ugin to wipe the board, but we're gonna find out right now. That's what, 6, 7 mana? 7's a good amount of mana. I don't remember how much Ugin is. I think 8 or 9. I hope at least. Forsaken Monument, that's game over. All right. Just kidding, they play the One Ring. That card also needs to get banned. That card 100,000% needs to be banned. That is 4 mana, 4 generic mana, get an extra turn. That you can just slap into literally any deck, regardless of synergy, and it's just good. It's just 4 mana, get an extra turn. And you get to start drawing cards. Our opponent plays Ulamog the Defiler. You cast a spell, target opponent exiles the top half of their library, rounded up. Ward, sacrifice 2 permanents. Ulamog enters with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the greatest mana value among cards in exile. It has Annihilator X. Alright, so I think we're fine. Our opponent gains 2 life, they go up to 18. As long as they don't cast the One Ring, we're fine. We should be able to kill next turn. Grand Temporal Gateway. It's fine. Our opponent gains 2 life off of that. They're back up to 20. But I don't think it matters. They only have 1 blocker up. Alright. So I'm going to tap down one of our artifact lands, the Great Furnace. I'm going to use that red mana to cast Kuldotha Rebirth. And I'm going to sacrifice the land that we tapped. We'll get 3 more Goblin tokens. We will activate Battle Cry Goblin, which will give all of our tokens +1/+0 and haste. We will go to combat. We will swing. Battle Cry Goblin will trigger, making another 1/1 token. We then activate Battle Cry Goblin a second time, buffing our board to include the new token, and we swing in for like a bajillion damage. Our opponent was at 20 life, they blocked 1 token, and end up at -19. We killed him 2 times over. And what, that was like turn 5 or 6? I don't know if he missed any land drops, but that was pretty good. That was pretty solid. And that is the power of our artifact sacrifice goblins. Good game 1. Technically, that was game 2. I played 1 game against Mono White Life Gain. It lasted entirely too long, and I did not have fun. So I'm not including that. You'll see it in the stats for the deck, but I'm not counting that for us. Not for the video. All right, here we are in another game, and our opening hand is absolutely beautiful. Our opponent's running 62 cards. Very odd, but not uncommon. So I think I'm going to start with a turn 1 Clockwork Percussionist. Swing in for 1, set our opponent to 19, and if they have removal, maybe they use it on the Percussionist, which will exile the top card of our library. They play a Llanowar Elves. That is mildly concerning. I definitely want to kill that as soon as we possibly can, but we don't have a play with fire in our hand. So I'm going to Implement of Combustion. We will Kuldotha Rebirth to sacrifice it. We'll get to draw a card from our Combustion. And I will swing in with Clockwork Percussionist. They will take the 1, go down to 18. Can we rush down Elves? That is a good question. I don't know. We have Battle Cry Goblin in hand, so we might be able to. Next turn, we have 3 mana. We can drop Ichor Wellspring, sacrifice it to our second Kuldotha Rebirth. We'll have 7 creatures on the board. The following turn, we can Battle Cry Goblin, and we just kind of have to hope that that's enough. Yeah, so I'll play out Ichor Wellspring. Hopefully we draw 1 more land. Land number 4 would be very useful for us. We will Kuldotha Rebirth, sacrifice Ichor Wellspring, get an additional draw. Do not draw 2 land. We will swing 4 1/1s. Our opponent's not going to block any of it. They go down to 14. And the reason I want to draw a 4th land is so that way we can play Battle Cry Goblin and also activate its ability next turn. Our opponent plays a card that I do not know. Dionysus Elvish Archdruid. It is 3 and a green for a 3/3 elf druid that says elves you control have, whenever this creature becomes tapped during your turn, untap it and put a +1/+1 counter on it. This ability triggers only once each turn. Seems really strong. They also just cast Collected Company, which is disgusting, as well as an Elvish War Master. Jesus, elves are ridiculous. We play out Voldaren Epicure. We're going to light up the stage. I will Kuldotha Rebirth, sacrificing the blood token. Say no attacks and end the turn. Our opponent has access to over 20 mana. That's only, you know, super ridiculous. It's turn 4. Yeah, seems fair. And they pass. All right. Well, we're definitely not going to swing in, so I think I'm going to start by using Gleeful Demolition to sacrifice Clockwork Percussionist. Going to exile top card of our library. We hit another Clockwork Percussionist. We'll play that out. I think we just end the turn there. Honestly, we can just end the game here. It doesn't matter. All right, here we are in game number 3. Our opening hand looks good. I'm going to Clockwork Percussionist on turn 1, swing for 1, set our opponent to 19. And next turn, we have a Kuldotha Rebirth, which we can use to sacrifice either this Clockwork Percussionist or the one that's in our hand. And of course, we're playing against Mono White Life Gain because this game hates me. We're going to play out another Clockwork Percussionist. We're going to swing with both. Opponent doesn't block either. They go to 17. I will Kuldotha Rebirth, sacrificing one of them. I will exile the top card of our library. We may play that until the end of our next turn. And we create 3 1/1s. Luckily, they turn 1 Healers Hawked instead of Soul Warden. Play a Voice of the Blessed. They're going to swing in the air. We're going to go to 19. They will go to 18, which the Blessed becomes a 3/3. Naturally, we top deck the Play with Fire a turn too late, but we might be able to bait his Voice of the Blessed. Play out the Battle Cry Goblin. I will swing in with our 4 1/1s. And if he blocks with Voice of the Blessed, we kill it with Play with Fire. He takes all of the damage. I'm going to end the turn. I'm going to end the turn and hold up the Play with Fire. Play an Impassioned Orator. I'm going to lay down arms, our Battle Cry Goblin. I'm going to Play with Fire. What am I going to play with fire? Healer's Hawk, I guess? I don't know. Take 3. I'm going to Kuldotha Rebirth, sacrificing Clockwork Percussionist. We'll make 3 more 1/1s. We'll play out an Implement of Combustion. Play Battle Cry Goblin. No attacks. End the turn. Our opponent plays second Voice of the Blessed, because why would they not have a second one in hand? You know, they're only 10 cards deep in their deck. All right, I'm going to swing out. We make a token. Let our opponent declare their blocks. They only block 1 goblin. We can activate Battle Cry Goblin twice, and we win the game, setting our opponent to -7. This deck is so fun, and yet all of the joy that I have gets wiped away by the fact that I'm playing against Mono White Life Gain. All right, here we are in another game. Our opponent's playing with 64 cards in their library. Start with the Cabaretti Courtyard. We're going to start with a turn 1 Clockwork Percussionist. Swing for 1. Set our opponent to set our opponent to 20 because they gained 1 off of the Courtyard. We play in Ichor Wellspring for our turn 2 play. We get to draw a card, and we'll say no attacks. Our opponent is playing Mono Green Landfall. Mono Green Bird Landfall. Take 3, go to 17. We're going to Gleeful Demolition, destroy our Ichor Wellspring, get an additional draw. I'm going to play out Implement of Combustion. We're going to Gleeful Demolition it, get an additional draw, and make 3 more tokens. We now have 7 1/1s on our board. Next turn, we can play Battle Cry Goblin and activate its ability 1 time. Hopefully that's good. Our opponent shouldn't have a lot of blockers. They don't normally go super wide with this deck. More about building up like 1 or 2 creatures like really large. They kill our Clockwork Percussionist. We are okay with that. They exile the top card of our library. It's Darksteel Citadel. Play Emerald Medallion. That is, I think that's greedy. Green spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So I have 2 options here. I could play out the Battle Cry Goblin. Actually, yeah, I'm just going to do that. Play Battle Cry Goblin. If I swing with 6, do I want to activate this first? I'm going to activate the ability now. I will give Battle Cry Goblin haste as well. We give our board +1/+0. On the attack, we get another 1/1 Goblin token that's tapped and attacking. Our opponent eats all the damage. They go down to 4. They don't have a way to wipe our board. Then that is game. And they're playing mono green, so I don't think they will be able to wipe the board. Play a Prosperous Innkeeper. They play a Chocobo. They are up to 6 life now. Play a Riveteer's Overlook. They go up to 7 life. Get a bunch of triggers. Play an Undergrowth Recon. It is 3 mana enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, return target land card from battlefield or from your graveyard to the battlefield tap. That's a cool card that I have not seen anyone use yet. Play Gilded Goose. They have 5 blockers now. We have 7 creatures. They're going to become 8 creatures. 3 of ours are going to connect. They will all be 3/1s. All right, that's lethal. We attack. We make another goblin that's tapped and attacking. We pump our whole board twice, making all of our creatures 3/1s. Even if they block 5, 3 will connect, 4 will connect for 12 damage. I think my counting was correct. I think they go down to -3. Yeah, they had 2 more blockers, they would have gone down to -3. All right, and that is another victory, this time over Mono Green Bird Landfall. Chocobo Landfall? Chocobo Landfall. All right, here we are in another match. Our opponent's going first, and we do not have a sacrifice spell in our hand, which is concerning. Start with a Mistcloaked Herald. They might be playing Merfolks. Could also be playing Bogles. We're just gonna pass. I'm gonna hold up the Play with Fire. They're playing Merfolk. Opponent plays Merfolk Skydiver. Once it enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. We'll go ahead and kill their Mistcloaked Herald. That creature cannot be blocked. For our turn 2 play, we're going to play Voldaren Epicure. Luckily, we top decked a Kuldotha Rebirth, so we're going to use that to sacrifice our blood token and create 3 1/1s. Our opponent plays a Curious Obsession on their Merfolk Skydiver. So now whenever it deals combat damage, they get to draw a card. But I'm okay with that, because they have no blocker up right now. That's kind of nice for us. I'm going to use the opportunity to play out 2 Clockwork Percussionists, swing in for 6, set our opponent down to 13. I would have liked to get some more draws with Light Up the Stage, but I don't mind getting in for 2 extra damage. Our opponent scoops, but they had also played Kumena Merfolk Shaman. But that's it's another clean dub for us. We got that win, even while missing a land drop. I'll take it. All right, here we are in what is going to be our final match. We are going first. We have Kuldotha Rebirth in hand. We're looking pretty good. I'm going to start with the turn 1 Clockwork Percussionist. Swing in, connect for 1. I could have just held up the Play with Fire, which technically I think would have been a safer play to guarantee that on turn 2 we could have dropped Percussionist and then had a target for our Kuldotha Rebirth. But we are not punished. Our opponent just plays Abundant Harvest. So for our turn 2 play, we're going to go to combat, swing with Clockwork Percussionist again, set our opponent's 18. We will now Kuldotha Rebirth, sacrificing Percussionist. We'll make 3 1/1 goblins. And the card that we exiled was an Implement of Combustion, so we'll just go ahead and get that down on the field now too. Our opponent plays a Scythecat Cub, 2 mana, 2/2 trample, landfall, dies to Play with Fire. Cool card. We're gonna kill that, then we're gonna play out our Battle Cry Goblin, swing in for 3 more, setting our opponent down to 15. Didn't we just play landfall? We did 2 games ago. I think our chances against this landfall deck, pretty good. Here comes another Scythecat Cub. They're going to be able to play their land after this, so it will get a +1/+1 counter, I believe. Yes, whenever a land you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, double the number of +1/+1 counters on that creature instead. Yo, this Cub is kind of nice. I should build a deck around this card. All right, anyway, I want to hit our land drop, so I'm going to start by sacrificing Implement of Combustion for 1 red to deal 1 damage to our opponent's face. We'll get to draw a card. It is a land, but that will also activate our Light Up the Stage, so I'm going to cast this for its spectacle cost. Exile the top 2 cards of our library. We hit another mountain, that's good. We are now going to go to combat, and we're going to see how our opponent blocks. If they block the Battle Cry Goblin, then I will activate its ability in response. If they block just one of our 1/1s, we don't activate our ability, and we instead Play with Fire the Scythecat. What is the card? Scythecat Cub. Yeah, we kill that. Our opponent goes down to 10. Our opponent plays a Mossborn Hydra and also a Chocobo. Oh, they are also running Chocobo cards. Okay, we are going to start our turn by playing an Ichor Wellspring. We get to draw a card. It is a land. We are then going to use Kuldotha Rebirth to sacrifice the Wellspring. We'll get to draw another card and make 3 more 1/1s. Then play our land for turn. And now I give all of our goblins +1/+0 and haste. We swing, we make another tapped and attacking goblin token, and that's maybe game. Oh, they declared no blockers, and we got in for lethal, so they went down to -4. On board, I don't think they were technically dead, but they would have lost their entire board to survive. So that's another clean dub against Mono Green Chocobos. We only saw 1 Chocobo, but if you have even 1, you are now Chocobo Landfall. And that's our final game, so let's go take a look at our stats. All right, and here we are on my untapped account again. We are now 38-15 with the deck, 72% win rate. And for this play session, we went 5-2. That's pretty good. We have a 75% win rate on the play and a 67% win rate on the draw. Out of those 7 games, we played 2 people who are playing mono white life gain, which kind of sapped some of the fun out of my play session. even though we managed to win the second game. But overall, I'm very happy with how the deck performed. So for any of you who are interested in playing a Goblin deck, or even just a mono red deck, and you want a deck list that isn't super boring, you should copy this one. It's a lot of fun. I rarely see anyone else running a similar deck list, and it's super cheap. It will cost you 0 rare and 0 mythic rare wildcards. I would highly recommend that you give this deck a shot. But with that said, thank you guys for joining me on day 18 of our 30 days of night. And if you liked the video, you should like the video. If you liked me, the video, and you like Magic the Gathering, you should consider subscribing to the channel because that will get you more of all three. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow.